Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's the last podcast and YouTube show of the week, brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, looking ahead to the tennis action tomorrow and this evening across Dallas and in Rotterdam, where I am now. Before I introduce you to Sean Calvert, our senior ATP Tour handicapper, please hit that subscribe button. Please like these videos. Please give us a comment. And most importantly, hit that bell. So every time we do launch any podcast on this show or any shows, you'll be alerted to in your inbox and notified of when we produce any live content. Now, here he is, Mr. Sean Calvert. How are you?
I'm all right. The old knee's stiffening up a bit. Played a bit of paddle earlier, and a couple of hours after you've played, it's a little bit difficult to move, to be perfectly honest. But
that's why I don't bother. That's why I don't bother playing paddle. That's why I don't bother.
I like to get out there and smack a ball around and stuff. So yeah, it's apart from that, things are all right. How are you, more importantly, over in Rotterdam?
Well, I must admit, the love I'm feeling from the Dutch people has actually made me feel that I feel like I'm a bit bad about the criticism I gave Rotterdam. I had a lot of Dutch people, followers of this show, people who follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well, said to me, welcome along to Holland, it's nice, and all this kind of stuff. And then today, I blagged my way into the players' lounge. I don't know how I've done it, but I blagged my way into the players' lounge. I'm sitting in the front row seats in the players' box, and the guy comes over to me and he says, "Are you Nigel Seeley?" I went, "Yes," thinking that he was going to kick me out. And he said, "I never ever miss an episode of this show," which I couldn't believe. I thought, so this is unbelievable, isn't it? That's happened to me three times before. That happened to me. People come up to me. I happened to be once in Miami, once in New York, and here in Rotterdam, where people have come across and said, "I watch all your shows." Isn't that lovely?
That's great. I mean, I don't think, that's absolutely tremendous. I don't think that's ever happened to me. Maybe you
don't go into the posh bits. You go into the cheap seats.
Sometimes I go in the cheap seats. Sometimes I go in whatever's available. Maybe you're more approachable than me. Maybe I just look a bit surly. I don't know. That's quite possible, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see.
I just thought it was really, really nice. And I think, like yesterday, I went to the tennis yesterday. And I didn't have a ticket. Someone on Twitter messaged me, said, "I follow all the shows. You can have a ticket." And I met him. We had a ticket. We had a couple of beers. We had a good night out. And today, a guy watching the show. I think it's amazing, really, when you can go to a foreign country and someone comes up to you and says, I watch all your shows, enjoy it. For the language barrier, they bet winners. That's amazing. They all, really good.
Did you get the Irish bar yesterday, by the way?
I haven't gone there yet. I found the better spot near where I am, literally across the street. And it's quite a good vibe there. I will go. I will definitely go there. I might go there tonight, but I didn't go there. But anyway, today on the Instagram account at Because We Win. If you're not following it, please make sure you follow the Instagram account as well. 2 bets, 2 winners. 2 in-play bets, 2 winners. We bet Marijan in play, or just before the match at plus 136.
Yeah, he had a long trek from Canada, didn't he? That was why he was underdog.
Over 9.5 games in first set on the Felix game as well. So we cashed tickets as well on the Instagram account as well. Anyway, that's enough about that.
Now you love Rotterdam then, right?
I wouldn't say I love it.
It's gone up from a 1 out of 10 to about a 5.
The beer's not good.
Okay.
It's Heineken or Amstel, and it's quite flat.
Okay.
It's still grotty. You still feel a bit edgy around the town, but now I've got the spots, and now we're being noticed. Now I'm not being asked for selfies by the crowd. Then it's got up to about 4.
The crowd.
Well, one person. one person. Anyway,
yeah.
I felt famous for 5 minutes, so please just let me
I'll let you have it. Go on, let it ride.
Okay. Let's move on to the tennis action, and we have a couple of matches, 3 matches, in fact, over in Rotterdam for tomorrow. We're going to preview here. We have one match this evening, which is 10 past 9 local time, Eastern time, across in America, in Dallas.
And we're doing Dallas first then, sorry.
We're going to start with Dallas, because this match is this evening, so we're going to start in Dallas. And we're going to start with a match between Denis Shapovalov against Miomir Kecmanovic. Denis Shapovalov is minus 182. Kecmanovic is plus 145. Spread 2.5. Total is 22.5. And if you are going to bet Shapovalov here, you're doing so not on his current form, but on this remarkable head-to-head that he has against Kecmanovic, where he leads 5-0 in the head-to-heads. But in 4 of those matches, the match has gone over the total game line as well. So He has won it, but he hasn't won it in convincing style. So 22.5 is the line of the total games as well. So Shapovalov leads 5-0. Kecmanovic, better form this year. Shapovalov isn't the best form this year. It's a sort of a classic kind of bet where you either go with the head-to-head or you go with the recent form. I can imagine that you're putting this one up because you want to go with the recent form.
I'm putting it up because we haven't got that many matches tomorrow that we can talk about.
That as well.
To be completely honest, it's a great matchup for Shapovalov. I'll go into why in a second. First of all, there is a little bit of a caveat about Shapovalov. I'm not 100% sure that he's fit because he said a couple of days ago or last week, he said, I'm still struggling with some back pain after my last match at the Australian Open. I'm going to continue rehabbing in hope to be ready for my next tournament in Dallas. He said that just before he pulled out of Davis Cup. He normally plays Davis Cup, but obviously on this occasion he didn't. So you kind of that's just information I'm putting out there. Whether he's fit or not, we kind of have to guess a little bit. But I mean, he totally owns the head-to-head, as you said, at all levels. 6-0 at all levels, including juniors. We've got stats from 5 of those matches. Service points won and return points won totals 107 to 93 in favour of Shapovalov. It's a very, very overwhelming matchup in all areas, really. Shapovalov wins 80% of his first serve points and 42% of return points. So he's pretty much untouchable on first serve, and he's doing much, much better than his average on return. He's had no problems with the Kecmanovic serve at all in this matchup. If you look at what Kecmanovic has done in his career at main level against the more capable left-handers on the tour, if you like, that's top 50 ranked left-handers. He's played 21 matches against top 50 ranked lefties at main level. How many of those do you reckon he's won?
How many matches?
21 he's played against top 50 ranked left-handers.
4.
Close. 3. He's won 3 out of 21 matches against top 50 ranked left-handers. So that would certainly put you off. If the head-to-head didn't put you off, then his overall record against left-handers is shocking, really, considering he's got a very, very good backhand, Kecmanovic. It's a little surprising. If I thought Shapovalov was fit, which he has obviously put a bit of a cloud on that with his comments a few days ago or whatever, I'd be pretty tempted to take the -2.5 games handicap on here at -108 with Bet Rivers. Kecmanovic has had a fair old journey as well to get to Dallas from playing Davis Cup in Europe. Faded away in his last match against Holger Rune, got beat pretty easy by Holger Rune, who he should have beaten actually at the Australian Open. So a long journey from Kecmanovic. Shapovalov should be the one that's better prepared because he's had longer because he did skip Davis Cup. So if you're prepared to take a little bit of a chance on Shapovalov's fitness, then I think the bet there would have to be the -2.5 games on Shapovalov.
That's a tip in itself. And I say this all the time. Whenever Sean Calvert goes with a big money favourite and wants to give up the handicap, that is very, very rare. So
it is rare, yeah.
It is very rare. It's either because there's nothing else to bet on at the moment,
that is,
or you really, really fancy it. So I'm not quite sure.
It's a little bit of both. I mean, if he wasn't injured, I mean, yes, we are very limited today with the matches that we can talk about. That is certainly true. I mean, one of the matches in Dallas tomorrow we've already discussed yesterday. Another one's Tommy Paul, who's a very, very heavy minus money favourite. So this one's actually tonight. So we don't know any more matches really in Dallas. So yes, it's a case of Hobson's choice. But the reason I've put that in is because I think it's clearly a very good matchup for Shapovalov, and if he's fit, then he should be winning really.
Yeah, -182. If you want to parlay it up, look at some matches across the BetRivers website. There's obviously matches in Rotterdam tomorrow as well. -182 might not be a kind of price you want to bet on the money line, but I'm sure if you can find another couple of alternatives to put in to boost your bets up and get your odds a little bit better. That match is 9:10 p.m. tonight. So make sure you get across to the BetRivers website, download the app, and if you do have a bet with them, you can bet live and watch live with BetRivers. Now, in Rotterdam tomorrow, there is 3 matches that we are going to discuss here. And the first matchup is producer John has just performed a miracle. He's got the prices up and got the spread up and the totals up very, very quickly.
It's a good job.
They only just left court when I was leaving a few hours ago. It was Artur Fils against Altmaier. Artur Fils is -450. Altmaier is $3. Spread 3.5. Total here is 20.5. I watched that Feast match today, and I watched a whole lot of it, and he was pretty poor in the first set. But his after match interview, he said that he took a time to get going, but once he got going, I tell you what, he was brilliant, and I think he's a danger in his court in these slower conditions. I think he can go far. And he's got a very good record indoors, and he's up against Altmaier, who's an out-and-out clay courter. No, it's very slow, though, Sean. You're absolutely right. It's very, very slow here, and Altmaier might have a chance, but I thought Feast was brilliant this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I think in that case,
Okay.
the reason being, if
I've just bet Arthur Feast to win the tournament.
okay, well, did you see what he said after the match?
I heard him say that he turned up and he took a bit of time to get going, and he got in his groove. And I was doing an Instagram video, and then I went out because I left about halfway through the interview. I must have missed the best bit.
You did miss the best bit. So he said, it's been a long time since I played on such a slow court. Okay, everybody said that. We know that. I was playing Davis Cup last weekend, which was very fast. But in the end, I managed to play well with my forehand. But I feel very tired from Davis Cup, is what he said. Now,
I was having a Heineken at that time. I wish I stayed. I would have saved me $50 on the outright bet.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought he would say... It's not like players to really say that. They don't like saying those sort of things because of obviously the sort of fillip that it gives to their opponent. I'm sure Daniel Altmaier has seen that interview. I mean, even if he hadn't, you know, it's been a matchup that, all right, Feast has won 3 of them, but one was by retirement. And if you look at the stats of those meetings, if I can actually find them, you will find that Arthur Feast is behind in the head-to-heads. So I was there when Altmaier beat Arthur Feast on a slow indoor hard court such as this in Paris on Feast's home turf when Feast was tired. Now it's a very, very similar situation, right? It's not Paris, it's Rotterdam, but it's the same indoor hard court.
Liverpool or Rome. I've been trying to get that gag in all week.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get that gag in all week.
There's plenty of opportunity. So a similar situation, slow hard court. Feast is tired. I was courtside for that one. I was also courtside for the one in Madrid when Altmaier beat Feast on clay at altitude there. Feast did later claim that he was sick that day, and I could certainly believe that because Altmaier beat him pretty easy. As I said, if you look at the head-to-head, including the match that Altmaier retired in after one set, which I think was in Auckland, the service points won and return points won totals across all their meetings, 103 to Altmaier, 97 for Feast. So Altmaier's had the better of it. Breaking it down a bit more, second serve points won, Altmaier 54%, Feast 45%. And perhaps surprisingly, Altmaier has held serve more often than Feast has in this matchup. 83% holds of serve for Altmaier against 77% for Feast. So a tired player, slow conditions, bouncy, grippy conditions that we know Altmaier loves anything slow and bouncy and kind of gritty. Those are his conditions. Yes, you could argue that Feast has perhaps got the power to hit through them, but has he got the energy to do so after this Davis Cup run, which he's now saying has left him very tired? Altmaier should fancy this. He's come in as a lucky loser, beat the informed Kovacevic today. So I'm going to take a couple of bets here. I'm going to have half the stake on Altmaier to win it, plus 300, I think he is, and the other half on him, plus 3.5 games, plus 125. I think it's got the makings of a good situation for Altmaier if he can take advantage.
Yeah, I mean why cover the 3.5 and you're going to be in profit. You can have half about if if he wins it, you get the lot, but cover the 3.5 and you're in good shape. The total games is 20.5 as well here. I think what we need though, Sean, is every time you've gone to see this match and you've been in presence of these two, it's gone on as well. We need you to get on the old $29.99 flight out from Southend to Rotterdam tomorrow to cheer him on. And then we know we might be on a good bet.
Well, I'm going to Delray Beach, aren't I, on Friday, so unfortunately I can't do that.
Okay, well, I don't
he'll have to do it without me. I remember that match in Madrid because I was the only one sat in a huge posse of French people singing and waving their flags and all that, and it was just me.
Oh, you would have loved that. You would have must have.
I did quite. I enjoyed it because I was on Altmaier that day, and he won pretty convincingly, and I managed to silence the crowd a little. Well, I didn't. Altmaier did. Yeah. So yeah, I did quite enjoy that.
Next match is a big match. All these matches, by the way, start at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. We don't know the order of play yet, but about 5 a.m. Eastern Time. As I keep saying, head across to the BetRivers website, download the app. You'll be able to see them all the times for these matches. And if you want to have a bet on anything that Sean suggests here, make sure you head across earlier today. Okay, Jakub Mensik against Alex de Minaur. This is a very, very interesting match here. Two players that are in good form. Jakub Mensik is a player that I know that you think, Sean, could break through the bigger and better things. Alex de Minaur is our pick to win the tournament. It's a difficult match in the last 16. De Minaur is minus 265. Jakub Mensik is plus 205. Spread 2.5. And total here is 22.5. They've met once before in an indoor event in Vienna in the quarterfinal stage, and it was a close one. Mensik won the first set 7-6. And de Minaur went on to win 6-3, 6-4 in the next two sets. I've bet Alex de Minaur to win this tournament, as a lot of people have watched his show would have done as well. But this looks a tricky little match.
It does. It does look a tricky little match. You're right. I do rate Mensik quite highly. That's for sure. I've said it a few times on this show, and I'm expecting this to be a test for Alex de Minaur. When they met in Vienna, it's quite recently, wasn't it? Back end of last year, I think. Mensik was unable to just hit through him, and they were quicker conditions than this. But he wasn't far away in that match. De Minaur just kind of ground him down in the end. Won the first set, Mensik ended up losing the second and the third 6-3, 6-4. But it was 103-97 in terms of service points won and return points won totals. So pretty close. Holds of serve in that match. Incidentally, de Minaur 100% holds, Mensik 88% holds of serve. So very serve dominated in quicker conditions, but we've already seen that Mensik can serve well. Here in Rotterdam, I think he won 88% of his first serve points against Bublik the other day. Just going back to that Vienna meeting again for a second, de Minaur won 3% more on serve and more points on first serve, actually. And Mensik only won 31.6% of return points. De Minaur also only won 34.7% of return points, which is quite low for him. De Minaur averages over 40% of return points won as a sort of general baseline for the season on hard courts. So quite a way down against Mensik. We know that Mensik's got a very, very effective first serve. De Minaur is a much improved player these days. He struggled a bit towards the back end of last season after that injury that he got at Wimbledon. I think it was a hip injury. He wasn't really the same player for the last sort of 4 or 5 months of the season. Now he's fit again. I think he said in Melbourne, I think his quote was, "I've got my legs back again," was what he said, which I can only assume means that he's fully fit. And we know how quick he is.
I'd love to have my legs back.
I'd love to have de Minaur's legs, like 30 odd years younger and a little bit fitter. But I can still get around the court, by the way. But I do pick up a lot of drop shots.
I never criticised you. I say me.
I'm not saying you were. I'm just saying.
Doing 10,000 steps. I can't feel my legs anymore. Wish I could have them back. 10,000, 12,000 steps around cities.
I can certainly feel mine today after that paddle. Anyway, we digress. So, as I said, he's a much more powerful player, much more of an aggressive player these days. De Minaur, it looks like he's put a little bit of bulk on over the off season, so a bit more muscle. He's certainly hitting harder for me. He's hitting his serve harder. He's playing more aggressively. He was very impressive against Goffin. Goffin didn't play badly, actually, in the second set. He was a little bit shaky in the first set, but the second set was close and high quality between de Minaur and Goffin. If we look at what de Minaur's done in Rotterdam, he was another one that talked about the conditions being very slow. I think his quote was, "It's a very rough surface. It's really slow, and the ball got massive." They're all saying this, by the way. All the players are saying that after a couple of games, the ball is just fluffing up and getting really kind of difficult to hit. I don't know whether it's because the court's so gritty, but yeah, it certainly seems to be a problem. So perhaps not ideal conditions for de Minaur, but he certainly coped with it well against David Goffin. So as I said, his record now in Rotterdam, his service points won and return points won total is 105 here, and his service hold and break total here is 111. So despite conditions not being ideal, he's still very, very impressive here. But going back to Mensik, what he's done against the better players in the world is very impressive. You know, one of the reasons why I've kept my eye on him. If you look at the last 12 months at main level against current top 20 players, it's actually Mensik with a slightly better record. 46% win rate and a service points won and return points won total of 97. De Minaur, the same total of 97, but a worse win rate at 36%. So I think I'm certainly confident in saying that this is going to be a test for Alex de Minaur, a good test, I would suggest. And given the way that they're both serving, given the way that Mensik's serving, given the low number of return points won in Vienna, I think you would have to go, if you're not already on the de Minaur and just cheering him on. If you want to come into this match and have a bet, I'd certainly go over 22.5 total games, which I think is minus 107 with Bet Rivers now.
Yeah, minus 118 is the price for over 22.5. So that is the price.
Oh,
and
minus
it does
118,
look a good
sorry.
play.
I was looking the wrong way around.
Yeah, minus 118. I think that's a good bet because, Mensik's capable. He's a very good player. He does lose momentum in big games. He gets into tie breaks. He serves well. He looks a world beater. Then suddenly he loses a bit of momentum, and he could lose sets. So over 22.5 is a decent bet here. Before we go on to the final match, I think speaking to a lot of people around here today, like people who are at the venue and know everything about it, a lot of them fancy Lehecka to win this tournament. He's
good.
Very, very. A lot of them, yeah. I know. I was going to say to you, there's a lot of people who think that he's playing brilliant and can win this tournament. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we can.
He played great against. Sorry, mate. He played great against Popyrin. A little bit shaky in the first set. Could have gone either way. Popyrin had his chances in that towards the back end of that first set, but once Lehecka had nicked that first set, really, he was very impressive in the second set. Yeah, if he carries that on, then. Yeah, early days yet, obviously, but it's. I can see why people were impressed by him.
Yeah, very impressed. A lot of people fancy him, and obviously was our tip to win the tournament. So hopefully he can go on it as well as de Minaur as well. Let's move on to the final match we are going to discuss tomorrow, 5 a.m. Eastern time. It's the scheduled time for these matches to start. Head across to the BetRivers website. Check out their order of play. It's Holger Rune up against Pedro Martinez. Holger Rune is minus 770. Pedro Martinez is plus 525. Spread is 4.5. Total low 20.5. Over minus 108. Under minus 118. Holger Rune come through last night. He actually played quite all right actually in the second set against Sonego. He won 2 sets to love, but he's a heavy favourite here, minus 770. He's a player that you probably don't want to trust at these kind of odds. Where are we going to go with this one?
Yeah, this is one where it was the only match that we had to discuss. But it is interesting if you take a certain angle to this. I'm not totally sure about Holger Rune here. I don't know what you've heard, but a lot of people are chatting about some sort of flu epidemic. Is the
I've
word?
heard nothing about this flu. I've heard nothing about this flu epidemic.
It doesn't affect the VIP seats. It's the people that are,
all we were talking about was that the Moët and Chandon was a little bit too warm. That's all we spoke about today.
And the beer was a bit flat for your liking as well.
The beer was a little bit flat. Yeah. That was the only conversation where I was today.
Okay, well, I've picked up some slightly more relevant information as regards the tennis. I don't know whether this is true or not, but people are saying there's a lot of flu going about at the minute in Rotterdam, and Holger Rune is one such player that has seemingly been affected by this. I don't know what was wrong with Felix today, by the way. But was he sick as well? He retired against Vavasori, didn't he?
Well, as soon as we cashed the over 9.5 in set 1, I was done one. I only watched the first set. He looked well. I was commenting how physically big he is. I didn't realise I was very close to seeing him. Very, very big. He's lean but athletic. Very, very big. And I was saying how fit he was, and all of a sudden he's retired. I couldn't believe when I got back here.
I think there's something going about. And Petri Pericard withdrew very, very late as well, didn't he? Going back to Holger Rune, he said he woke up feeling ill on Tuesday morning, so he was happy to get a late start, which then ended up being a very late finish. I think it was after midnight that they finished because the Alcaraz match took quite a long time, didn't it? And then they were on after that. So it was a very late finish. Rune said he was happy to get that late start because he was feeling so rough. That being the case, you wouldn't really want to play. I haven't seen the schedule of play yet. I don't know if this match is on tomorrow. If it is, which I assume it is, You don't really want to be facing a grinder like Pedro Martinez in slow conditions if you've had one late night on top of feeling really sick as well. I mean, I wouldn't usually side with Pedro Martinez against a top 20 player because his record is, not that great. In fact, it's pretty awful. He's 3-25 win-loss against top 20 players, but he's a real pest when he's confident and playing well. And he's both of those things right now. He's just done really well in Davis Cup for Spain, beat Stricker in the singles, come here to Rotterdam at short notice, quick turnaround, beaten Bautista Agut, who he's beaten all four. I think it's either 4 or 5 times he's played Bautista Agut, and he's won all of them. Although all of them, bar this one, were on clay, which is one reason why I didn't fancy backing him against Bautista on an indoor hard court. But it's fair to say that Rune has considerably better stats on indoor hard. Yes, that is true. But given the slow, bouncy, gritty nature of this court, it's given the clay courts like Altmaier, like Martinez, a bit more of a chance. So if Rune isn't fully fit, I think the only thing I can say about this is if Rune isn't fully fit, which he doesn't appear to be, it might be worth a little bit of pizza money on Martinez at plus 525. I wouldn't normally suggest that Martinez would beat Rune on indoor hard, but you've got to go with the conditions and the circumstances as they are.
Yep. Martinez is plus 525, spread 4.5, total 20.5. About 28 different markets available on Bet Rivers. You'll find a better way to get with Martinez. If you want to look for it, you'll find it. But Holger Rune, obviously, there is some rumours about a flu bug going around, but nothing in the VIP. We're all very we keep meters apart. We don't really interact with it.
Probably for the best.
We just
Although, to be fair, Rune was probably in the VIP as well, so it could.
Well, he might
could be localized.
I don't think he's got the credentials to get in there. Really, to be fair, I think he's a number 3 seeded, number 2 seeded.
He's no Nigel Seeley, is he? Let's be honest.
I think you need higher credentials to get into the areas that I was in today. Anyway, that is it for the latest edition of Game Bet Matches, our final edition of the week. Sean, just give us a recap of your official plays. We've gone through leans and picks. You have got a couple of official plays. What are we going to do?
Yeah, I'm splitting the stakes on the match between Altmaier and Feast. It's coming. Oh, it's scrolling down now. This is excellent.
Very good.
So there it is. So splitting the stakes on that, we normally go 1 point. So it would be half a point on the outright win on Daniel Altmaier at plus 300 and half a point on the plus 3.5 games at plus 125. That's my official pick for today.
Yeah, and that match is tomorrow. Remember, it starts around about 5 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to have a bet on that, follow that bet. You need to go across early, get the bets down because there isn't much time for you to do so. You can stay across all our content here, as I said at the top of the show, by subscribing to the channel, Betting Weekly Studios on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at Because We Win. I've got another day here in Rotterdam. I'm going to Amsterdam tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Tournament there, is there? Challenger or something?
No, I'm going to meet a couple of friends of mine who live out there. They're builders.
Okay.
And they're on the construction site.
Is this Auf Wiedersehen, Pet? Have we gone back to about...
What could possibly... That was Hamburg. That was Germany. What could
Dusseldorf,
possibly go
it?
wrong? Dusseldorf. It was out there.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong,
I could think of quite a few things that could go wrong there.
I've got to get the last train back. So hopefully I'll be on that plane coming out on
the Instagram
morning,
should be interesting.
There is a chance. So make sure you follow that Instagram account at Because We Win, myself and... all the guys over there. We're going to give you some picks. I'll give you some picks in the morning. I'm going to look at the matches, and anything we don't cover here today will be on the Instagram account as well. Sean, thank you very much as usual for your time. Remember, you can follow everybody on the team here at Because We Win, 4 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock UK time, 11 o'clock Eastern time on Betting Weekly Live. Lots of stuff coming this week. Lots of tennis coming. Sean is away in Florida next week, so you'll be able to follow him as well on the Instagram account as well. And I don't think he'll be in the VIP area like me, but you never know. If you are in Florida and you are watching this show, and anyone is in Delray Beach, please hit him up because he needs a VIP ticket. It's no point in me just being the only one who goes in the VIP area. Sean is there. Let him know. Give him a message. He's hating me for saying this, but give him a message.
I'll take it all day long. It's fine.
Let him know where you are, and you'll meet him in Florida next week. But have a good week. Good luck with the rest of the tournament. Hopefully we can get Berrettini. Hopefully we can get Lehecka through and Minaur through as well. And good luck with all your bets as well this week. And a nice couple of angles there for the matches for tomorrow. Take care, and we'll see you all again next week.